Namaste, this is New India Junction Changemakers, and I'm your host, Nivedita Tiwari. We have with us today two young and dynamic changemakers doing incredible work for the ecological heritage of Ayodhya. Abhishek and Prabha, welcome to New India Junction.
So Abhishek and I know each other since 2010, and college में क्या होता है, like your young audience will especially relate with this. It's like college में आगे अच्छा कुछ करना है, कुछ अलग करना है types. कुछ change
बदल देंगे।
हाँ दुनिया बदल देंगे, बस यही था, like दुनिया बदल देंगे. And the first thing we started off with was setting up Green Cell in Symbiosis International University. And the environment का one thing Abhishek and I realized was that a lot of the problems with पर्यावरण is कि जब आप conservation की बात करते हो तो it's more like कि हाँ social work कर लेंगे, धरना दे लेंगे, and that sort of image sort of comes when you talk about conservation. For Abhishek and me, it was more real than that. It was about our daily lives. It was about policy. It was about how corporate structures work. And we realized that we have a great community of aspiring engineers, and we realized that we need to train them in a way that so that in their future employment, they can take the vocabulary and the mindset of sustainability and climate change mitigation and that sort of thinking towards whatever profession they do. So we were not saying कि आप आके environmental activist बन जाओ. We were saying कि आप जहाँ भी जाओगे, whatever profession you do, take that mindset with you. So that's how Green Cell started. And then in 2013, I was researching for a member of parliament, Honorable Vanna Chavan. We were working on the conservation of Ganga River. Abhishek had a theory and a very strong belief that if you're conserving a river, you have to look at it as a system. So you have to look at the tributaries as well. And at that time, jab National Ganga Action Plan or wo sab tha, they were looking at the river mainly. So we thought that okay, Saryu is the largest tributary of the Ganga by volume, and he was like, "That's my hometown. Let's go study Saryu." So when I was researching for the MP, we both of us went to Ayodhya, and I'm standing like we're standing at the river bank, and we're looking at the ecosystem, and I spot dolphins, and it was mind blowing to really think that hey, the river has dolphins. And so whenever I do my webinars with young professionals with others, I'll be like, "Do you know something about fascinating about Ayodhya?" And they'll be like, "Okay, Ram Mandir, like great things culturally." But then I'll be like, "Do you know that the national aquatic animal of India is found in the river in Ayodhya?" So that's fascinating. And then, so that was one experience in policy, and then I decided to actually pursue public policy as a degree. So with Abhishek's guidance, I landed a admission in Georgetown University in Washington D.C. And there I was working with another iconic river known as the Anacostia River, which flows right through the capital of the US. And even then in my head, it was like, okay, Saryu could be like this. So, rivers also interconnect in that way. And then when I was done, we decided to come back and set up ESF. So that's our journey in a very detailed way.
So I'll add just one very quick point.
Yeah.
Let's start realizing where the potential lies. Potential does not lie. We cannot convert everything into biodegradable stuff. That is why the concept of reuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle was born. So let's stop, telling the government what to do, telling the organizations. The most common response I get when I pick up the call as a person working for an NGO is, आप ये करा तो ये आपका काम है. You have to do this because this is what you chose to work for, right? No. I chose to work for this cause because I believe in it, not because you tell me that this is what you have to do, even if I am unable to do that, right? So this is where just like the freedom movement, I see a lot of similarity, lot of synchronicity between the Indian national freedom movement and the Indian the environmental the climate change mitigation movement. It has to come from within. The people have to rise as one and realize that no, it's no longer luxury, it's no longer debatable, it is their right. And they have to take it, they have to grab it, because this decides. When Bhagat Singh threw that bomb and stood there and said that I am the one who threw the bomb without sharpnels and please hang me, he was not fighting for himself, he was fighting for the rights of the future generation, right? So the day we are pressed into a corner and we have to galvanize ourselves for defending that right, I'm waiting for that day.
I can just see how passionate you are for what you're doing, and that's infectious. So,
Thank you.
Chandraprabha briefly mentioned about the cultural heritage of Ayodhya, and the Ram temple is finally being built. There is a lot of focus on developmental activities there. It is being developed as a Tirth Kshetra. So the development program also makes it imperative for us to talk about the and focus on the ecological heritage of Ayodhya, right? And I believe that I read a little bit on your website, and I believe that the foundation is doing work, regarding that as well. So, if you could talk about what work the foundation is doing in Ayodhya, particularly in Ayodhya.
I'll actually take a little bit of the background setting and the context setting, and then Abhishek can take it forward. So we work in Bombay and we work in Ayodhya as well. The reason why Ayodhya fascinates us slightly greater is that the potential is massive now with all the cultural attention, the political attention as well, for good reasons. There's a lot of opportunity that comes with that, a lot of development funds that will come with it. What we realize is that because it's Ayodhya so important in the national psyche, if we bring Ayodhya to people all over the world from the ecological perspective, we're really harnessing that emotional and cultural, importance that Ayodhya has. We also believe that now that the development funds will start coming, if you don't plan sustainable development right from the beginning, it will be your like the development will kind of leave the environment behind. And it's not, Abhishek and I usually talk about this, that it's not mutually competitive. It's not like yeah development hai, yeah environment hai. Aisa nahi hai. So ESF, Abhishek will join like when I to describe this a little more, but in terms of what ESF does to make it real on how development and environment do go hand in hand, we have programs like Saryu Sarthi that focus on ecotourism to create jobs and livelihoods. We have a program called Saryu Nandini, which is for to empower women to start their own small initiatives, small ventures and enterprises. So both these programs, sort of get these people to conserve the environment while also getting livelihoods and jobs. So we're kind of balancing both the so-called challenges in a way to show that hey, it's not competitive. You can have development while conserving the environment as well. Abhishek, I think if you want to detail more about the projects.
Um, I'll just add on to your initial point. Development and economics, especially development in sustainable way, are extremely compatible. We just built our office. We are still building it. Uh, it's already water neutral. It's already waste neutral. And this year, we are aiming to double the water recharge versus the water use, and we are planning by December this year to go energy neutral as well. And it's really saving money by just putting planters at the top, but just putting climbers in the wall. We have cut down the not just the heat inside the room, but the electricity bill that AC is consumed by a factor of third, right? And we are planning to do more. This is a very short discussion to explain what all we have planned, but then we're planning to bring this cost by half. And if air conditioning can be brought down by half, it amounts to around 63% of our cost in consumption of power. So it's very easy, it's very cost effective, and it gives you more than anything else. It gives you a sense of that I have done my bit, right? Like the soldier who has served on the border can come home and say, I have done my bit. You have to do your bit. Nobody's asking any of us to, go and change the world. I mean, great if you can, but then just do your bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his point on actually, you need to plan ahead of designing. You need to fit your sustainability principles in the beginning. So one of our flagship projects is actually the Swachh Saryu Abhiyan, which is practically the foundation of anything environmentally that we're trying to do in Ayodhya. So Swachh Saryu is, one of the first campaigns that started in Ayodhya with the focus on how do you conserve the river. So we had certain initiatives that would happen, like every Sunday there would be a cleanup drive, and that in itself would sort of mobilize people to understand that hey, you have a national wealth right in your city, and you can sort of come ahead and participate. There are avenues to really join organizations like ESF to come forward and really do your bit, because for a lot of people they want to, जैसे young college कुछ करना है, college students कुछ करना है, लेकिन these avenues like Swachh Saryu Abhiyan exist, and you can come and join us there. We also have this program called the Jal Kosh Abhiyan, which is basically it's a mission mode sort of project which is generating carbon sinks, and what that means is we're restoring wetlands, and that's a rapid sort of mission that you restore your wetlands and you sort of bring water security to Ayodhya, and not just water security. We're also trying to get livelihoods out of the wetland restoration that is being done. So that's one of it. There's another one that we're now launching in response to the pandemic, because of which there's a massive job loss, especially for migrant workers and daily workers. It's called the Rozgar Manch, and with Rozgar Manch, it's we call it the LinkedIn for daily wage workers. So if you think about it, like migrant workers हैं, उनको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, वो जितना they'll knock on doors and they'll basically be like, is there a job for me or not? Can we bring digital tools to these guys? Can we have their profiles made, put online? Can there be local employers who can search those profiles, can type that, hey, I need a mason or I need a carpenter? So really to help, job searchers, migrant workers who are looking for jobs, just don't know how to do it, and help them connect with the local employment. Here as well, what will happen is when we do train them, the counselors, the goal is to train them in sustainability principles. So if there's a construction worker who's going to construct somewhere, can he think in terms of the design aspects that Abhishek was talking about? How do I design something that can save water? How can I design something that can, manage waste better?
So or without concrete.
Exactly. So all of these programs that we're doing, they are advancing development in Ayodhya, but at the same time, we're building in sustainability principles.
Right. In Ramcharitmanas, Goswami Tulsidas writes, when Ram returns to Ayodhya, there is a very beautiful line about the Saryu. He writes, Janma Bhumi Mam Puri Suhavani, Uttara Disi Bahar Saryu Pavani. So we know how important the river and its ecosystem is for the town and for the surrounding villages. And I see that most of your programs are named after Saryu Sarati, Saryu Nandini. And you mentioned, Chandraprabha, you mentioned how important Saryu is also to Ganga, right? And I see that this can also put the ecological heritage of Ayodhya on the global map. So if you could talk a bit about that connection.
Nivedita, the line I like better from Goswami Tulsidas about Saryu is Kotikal Kashi base Mathura base Hajar. Ek nimis Saryu base Tulena Tulsidas. Right? That's the importance.
Yeah.
That is the importance of this river. We have this river is, I don't know, never done the survey of the entirety of North, but then it's one of the cleanest rivers here. I won't say the cleanest in the North Indian area, but then it is one of the cleanest. Has crocodiles, has mugger crocodiles, has ghadial, gavial, the crocodilians, the fish hunting ones, and has a large population of Gangetic dolphins, right? Soos. And it might, in my suspicion, and I have a very well-founded suspicion that it might be the last home of a requiem shark species called the Gangetic shark. Gangetic shark has never been found in the wild, and it is one of living fossil moments of the study of fossils. Anyway, so today, with our resources, with our options, with our geographical size, we have a lot more options how to develop in harmony with nature. And there are very few cultures which regard a river as their mother.
Yes.
There are very few cultures on earth that say that each living entity has a soul within them. We do. Fine. We do not give right to anyone to slaughter something. We talk about karma. We talk about cycle of life. It was a way of life that respected rivers, that respected trees, that respected the very air you breathe, and the sky that gives you rain. I mean, come on. Who shouldn't fall in love with that? I am in love with that heritage. I see a choice here that we can make to bring back the glory we had, the knowledge of the Vedas and the Upanishads, you know, the knowledge about how to live in harmony, how to, just respect things that live with us. That's it.
Yeah, actually, Michel Danino has he has written a series of articles on this, and he talks about sacralization of everything basically. So everything is sacred for us, and once you believe in that, then how are you going to harm anything, right? So
True.
we should hold on to that. Prabha, you were saying something about the Saryu.
Yeah, so you were asking in terms of, how do we plan and what are we doing to really bring Ayodhya to the global map, especially from the environmental perspective. And coming back to Abhishek's point on, the fact that our culture does have principles of sustainability rooted in it, there is value of taking that out of the country and really having people know. So what I'll answer, like ESF has a lot of different initiatives that we do with this goal in mind. There are three main ones. The first one is that we have a research center where we invite international researchers to actually bring their skills and come to Ayodhya. And they experience Ayodhya from the perspective like what is Ayodhya culturally and what is the ecological wealth. So the idea is that when they bring skills and their knowledge in the conservation field, when they also travel across and they share their stories, they're actually sharing stories of Ayodhya from the ecological perspective. So, for example, we invited an artist collective from the UK and artists, right? So, like the idea was, okay, they're going to come to Ayodhya and they could paint, but the plan was that everyone's seen Ayodhya's interpretation from the cultural perspective. They interpreted the Ramayana and Ayodhya's history from the ecological perspective. So they showed Sita and Love Kush and their sort of imagery as the conservation and in relation with Mother Earth. They showed the Saryu River in art. They showed Saras crane in art. They even showed, and this is an image that is not very frequently seen. Everyone knows the story, but they painted the three lines of the squirrel and like a beautiful hand of Lord Ram just sort of moving it across the squirrel. So, just to have those things painted, मतलब हम culturally देखते हैं, लेकिन वो ecological perspective से then you start thinking कि हाँ यार सारस crane भी है, river भी तो है हमारी city में. These are the great things. So we also had researchers come in from Spain and Germany who were researching on water conservation, on river conservation again, like wetland restoration. So, these are the ways that we think it can go, Ayodhya can go on the global map. That's the first one. So getting international researchers. The second one is in terms of Gaw Seva. So, like cattle welfare or even animal welfare in general. We are thinking of, so, right now the main problem with the dairy industry is that the cow is considered unproductive immediately when she goes dry. So the idea is that doodh nahi de rahi hai to unproductive hai, but that's not true. We have a model called the Godhan Shala where we have, identified other solutions that make the cow remain productive even if she's not producing milk. So what that also does is it doesn't create that artificial incentive of, separating the mother and the child. So for an example, we had a researcher come in and they were working on on constructing cattle blankets because they were so fascinated by the fact that, hey, cattle and, the worship of and sacralizing, like you mentioned, the importance of animals in India. So they worked on building those cattle blankets with us. And that was just beautiful. So, having that another way, cattle tourism ho gaya, aapka, getting international people to really serve in animal welfare through ESF. So that's the second thing. The third one is interesting. It's called Phone Shala Project. During COVID, we realized that, while our nieces and nephews were able to go on Zoom to continue learning, they had internet. A large percentage of the children and students in India don't have access to internet. So Phone Shala is a toll-free technology where kids call and they learn, they learn about different lessons. So there are teachers from across the country who are recording audio lessons, and the kids call free of cost and listen to lessons. What we do is, it's not just curriculum. It's not just you're not just learning math or history, but when you're learning math, you're doing it through trees. So that's another way. Now these lessons will be turned into video and be put on line as well. So that's another way we're thinking Ayodhya can be put on the global map.
Abhishek, in the beginning, sort of, he was very passionate and he talked about the nationalistic movement and he sees a parallel here. So Would you guys want to make some sort of clarion call here? How would you want to tell people to contribute? Because I think this is the opportunity. Um, Ayodhya is changing rapidly, and I think if
Yeah.
people can make a contribution, it is now. Not just culturally, civilizationally. This is a historical moment. I think we can do great things ecologically as well. What would you want to tell
Right.
the viewers who are watching this?
We recently had a study which says that Delhites lose more than 9 years of their lives to pollution. So, I mean, joining our movement locally, you save more than 9 years, almost a decade of your life. It can't get better than that. You'll pay millions for Medicare. Medicare is now a political term in America. So, uh, medical aid or whatever, over the decades to get that enhancement in life, and that's not certain. This, sadly, is the only planet we have. As a child, I always dreamt that we'll be a multiple planet species. I mean, long before I knew Elon Musk, and I haven't met him yet. But then always fantasize that one day we will travel to some other planet, like we do travel countries. But then, sadly, this is all we've got, and we're not doing a good job. It's like we all have homes, we love our homes. It's like us brutalizing our own home, destroying its foundation, just muddying its paint, and I don't know, making it uninhabitable. So all I want to say is there you don't need a better passion. I mean, come on, I can give you a great speech about nationalism, but self-determination, the desire to determine what you will be, shouldn't come from somewhere else. The desire to live a better life, the desire to live a life of contribution, and the desire to do something that has a lasting legacy. A generation, we might be the last generation that could have done something and didn't. And we might be the generation that saved us all. And trust me, this honor or this sword, whichever side you look at, doesn't fall on every generation. This is once in a millennia, maybe once in a million years opportunity for us. So let's define it the way it should be defined. That's it.
I like that element of hope, and as you said, rightly said, this is an opportunity.
I'll talk about the fact that, right now, COVID, for example, what we're really telling people is COVID is technically climate change on steroids. COVID has changed the way you work. You have to stay at home. You have to upskill. A lot of people have to learn, digitally कैसे collaborate करते हैं अपनी teams के साथ, office नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, and all of that. It's a paradigm shift. Climate change will be like that, and if you don't care about, okay, oceans and temperature is rising and ocean level is rising and all of that, if you don't care about that, just think that it is going to personally affect you, even though it doesn't seem like it right now. And then try to, I mean, I'm not even saying कि आप जाके अपनी job छोड़ दो या कुछ बड़ा कर लो, नहीं. While you're in your job, try to really think of sustainability, try to have more discussions on it, try to join organizations that give you the opportunity to really practice certain skills and expertise in the conservation sector, so you can bring it back to your corporate and really push for better corporate governance that really talks about sustainability. So it's just that we don't think you need to make drastic changes in terms of job chhod ke lag jao like activism mein. No, stay where you are, but really get this in your mind and understand that this is personal, and there's a lot, like आप अपनी skills में ही बहुत contribute कर सकते हो. We have video makers who are coming into Ayodhya. If anybody watching, young professionals, if you're a video maker, come to Ayodhya, make a documentary with us on environment of Ayodhya. Let's do that. If you're an artist, come to Ayodhya. Let's reinterpret the art again. Let's do that. If you're somebody, if you're a vet, for example, आप Bombay में veterinary practice कर रहे हो, come to Ayodhya. Let's do something together with animal welfare. So yeah, simple things like that.
On that note, thank you for coming here. This was an amazing conversation.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you for having us. It was great.
To know more about the incredible work that Chandraprabha and Abhishek are doing, log on to www.earthsamvardh foundation.org. It was a pleasure bringing this conversation to you on Changemakers. Keep watching New India Junction.